Welcome to the IM2 video lecture. This is covering special products of polynomials. The learning target is for you to understand the special product of polynomials. There are two success criteria. One, you're going to be able to use the square of a binomial, that pattern, and you could also use the sum and difference pattern as well. Those are your two special products. Let's do some exploration here. We have x plus 5 squared. Remember, that is just finding the area. So it's x plus 5 times x plus 5. If we do the distributive property, we can see that x times x would be x squared, right? And as well as x times 5 would be 5x. Then we do it also to the bottom, which is 5 times x, which just gets you 5x. And 5 times 5 is 25. That's how we get that line. We can combine some like terms. You get x squared plus 10x plus 25. Now I want you to think about that x squared plus 10x plus 25. There's a pattern to that. Do you notice anything? Or do you wonder anything? Maybe not. So I decided to give you this again, but now with just letters. So you might have something like a plus b squared. Okay? If you expand that out, that's like a square with a plus b. If you expand that out, that just becomes a plus b times a plus b. It's the same process as before. A times a is a squared. A times b is ab. Then you're going to do b times a is ab, and b times b is b squared. You notice there are some like terms, which is the AB and the AB. That together will get you 2AB. Bring down everything else. Here, now it should give you a better visualization of what happened. Notice anything interesting that happens? Well, you should take a look. Notice that if this is the 5, notice that this, it's just double, it's squared, right? Because this is the b term. So notice it's b squared. This is squared, okay? Then here, the second term, you just double, right? The doubling comes from the adding of those two. So 5 plus 5, that gets you 2 of 5, right? So that's what happens here. You double. That's what you were supposed to notice, okay? When it looks like this, it's the same thing, right? You're going to notice the second number is what you are doubling. So you're going to double here. You're going to double b, which is 5. Then you're going to add the square root of it, okay? This is called square of a polynomial, right? Now it looks like what happens if you have a subtraction. Same process, okay? Same process, but you just have to be very careful with the negatives. So distribute it as well. So distribute this and distribute this. This gets you a squared minus ab. Then you have your negative b a times a gets you negative ab. Then you have negative b times negative b gets you positive b squared. Do you notice how this is now positive? Okay, it's squared, so it's always going to be a positive. All right, so it looks like that. It's like the same thing from before. Okay, this is going to be like the same thing from before. The only difference, I want you to understand that this is the squared. No, this is going to be the doubled. Okay, this is what you're going to double. You're going to double this term. Then here, you're going to square it. Be careful. But this is positive. Okay, this is positive. All right, do you see how it's positive here? All right, same thing here. You're going to double it. But look, it's negative. So make sure you understand. When you're doubling it, it's negative. Then lastly, you're going to square it. And again, when you square it, it's always positive. All right? So that's your core concept. Again, this is like a memorization trick. You do not have to memorize it if you know how to do it. This is just a shortcut, basically. All right? So here, I'm going to apply just a shortcut. Okay? I know that this is an addition. Okay? So I know the answer here should be a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay? My a here is your n. My b here is your 2, basically. Right? So the final answer here, after I do some algebra, it would be n squared plus 2 times what? 2 times n. And I'm going to add that to 2 squared. So it's n squared plus 4n plus 4. Okay? That would make sense. Even if you distribute, so let me show you if you do it the long way, okay? This is if you do it the long way. N times n gets you n squared. N times 2n gets you 2n. 2 times n here gets you 2n. 2 times 2 here gets you 4. N squared plus 2n plus 2n gets you 4n. Bring down the 4. You see? You get the same answer. Just a shortcut. Again, you don't need to know the shortcut if you want to do it by hand. All right? So the next one, the a is the n, the b is the 3. So it's going to be n squared plus 2 times 3 times n plus n squared, which is 3 squared. So it's n squared plus, this is 6n plus 9. Let's do 3. A equals to n, b equals to 4. So plug it into the formula. A squared, which is n squared, plus 2b, 2a, b, so 2 times 4 times n, plus 4 squared. You get n squared plus 8n plus 4. No, not plus 4. 4 squared is 16. All right. Okay. So now let's do the bottom. But this time you see it's a negative, so it's the a. So it is the a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Right? So the a here is the n, the b here is the negative 6. No, it's just a 6. It's just a 6. It's just a 6, yeah. All right. So a squared, so that's n squared minus 2 times 6 times n. Okay, and we add 6 squared. Okay, so 6 squared. So it's n squared minus 2 times 6 is 12n plus 6 squared gets you 36. If you don't believe me, let me show you. N minus 6 times n minus 6. N times n gets you n squared. N times negative 6 gets you negative 6n. Negative 6 times n gets you negative 6n. Negative 6 times negative 6 gets you positive 36. N squared. Negative 6n minus negative 6n gets you negative 12n. Bring down the 36. You see? Either way you do it, you get the same answer. So for this one, same thing. A equals to n, b equals to 7. You get n squared minus 2 times 7 times n plus 7 squared. You get n squared minus 14n plus 7 times 7 is 64. N minus 8 squared. A equals to n, b equals to negative 8. So you get n squared minus 2 times, sorry, it's not negative 8, it should just be 8. Negative 2 times 8 times n plus 8 squared. So you get n squared minus 16n plus 8 times 8 is 8 times 8 is 64. So this is wrong. 7 times 7 is 49. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So this is the square of a polynomial. So that's the wrong tag. Now we're going to explore something called the sum and difference pattern. What happens when you have something like this? Well, let's just do it like how we did it before. Okay, you have x plus 2 and x minus 2. This is the sum part and this is the difference part. It's the same letter, right? But they're just, the signs are different. Okay, so x times x will get you x. The x times x should get you an x squared. All right, thank you, x squared. Then x times negative 2 gets you negative 2x. Then let's do that to the bottom. 2 times x gets you 2x, and 2 times negative 2 gets you negative 4. You should notice that the inside stuff here cancels out. Negative 2x plus 2x becomes 0x. Bring everything else down. We technically don't write 0x. So it should look something like that. All right. So this is how it looks like after I clean it up. Now, I decided to put it right here using letters, and you're gonna notice something. That these two will always what? Cancel out. So the final answer is 8 squared minus b squared. Notice these two always cancels out. That's what you should notice. Okay, when it is a sum and difference, the inside terms here will cancel out, leaving you with an a squared and a b squared. So that makes your life so much easier. All right, here's the core concept if you would like to write it down. So notice all of these are a sum of difference, and we know it's just a squared plus it's not a squared plus b squared. It's let's look at the core concept again. It's a squared minus b squared. So a squared minus b squared. All right, so a was your x and your b was your 5. So the final answer here would be x squared plus 25. If you want to see it doing the long way, let me show you. X plus 5, x minus 5. Distribute x times x gets you x squared. X times negative 5 gets you negative 5x. 5x times x gets you 5x. 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Notice these two cancel out. You just get x squared minus 25. See? Exactly like that. Nope. Yeah. Why did I have a plus here? It should be a minus. Okay, it's a minus, right? Okay, same thing here. A was x, b was negative. B was 6. B was 6. Okay, so the final answer is x squared minus 36. Okay, this is 3, so a was x, b is 3, so the answer here is x squared minus 3 times 3 squared is 9. This one, you see how easy it is? A equals to x, b equals to 7. The final answer is going to be a squared, which is x squared, minus b squared, which is 7 squared, which is 7 times 7 is 49. Here, a equals to x, b equals to 8. The final answer is x squared minus b squared, which is just 8. 8 squared is what? We know that is 64. Last one, a equals to x, b equals to 9. We know that this is a difference of squares, so it is x squared minus 9 squared. We already know what 9 squared is. It is just 81. So there you go. Yeah, that's it. That's everything that you need to know when it comes to the perimeter and area of a square. Sorry, not that. I'm sorry. This is all you need to know for the sum and difference pattern, as well as square of a polynomial.